as a filmmaker, I'd describe him as a guerrilla filmmaker. That whole film was shot on a amateur camcorder, a Panasonic flip cam, which costs no more than £200, which is about $250, $300. And he will go to places, mainly travelling the world, visiting film festivals and talking at film festivals. And he'll spend his time travelling the world on his own with his camera, and looking and thinking and making films.
He's got this freedom to connect books, films, history, landscapes, whatever he meets in these journeys.
Mark started his career as an academic, as a scholar of cinema and film, and he has an amazing knowledge of world cinema. I've never met anyone else who has such a big knowledge and of cinema, but also he's very well read, and he spends his time walking around art galleries and looking at museums. It might not seem to most of us to be a special thing that you're looking at, but Mark might recognise that as meaning something in a film from 50 years ago, and then he might relate that to a work of iconography from centuries ago. And I think that knowledge allows him to associate these visuals in ways that I'm not able to. Yeah.
I presume, or maybe I'm wrong, that these films he's doing like this, traveling around and then getting back to you and to Don Boyd to finance them, makes it a bit difficult to work with.
It's a funny way of working. It's almost blackmail, because we don't agree to fund anything. He just goes out and captures it of his own accord, and then he'll come back and show us the material, tell us his thoughts, and there's no way he could say no to funding a film like that. And that's not fair at all. But the end result is superb, I think, and yeah, it's an honour to work with Mark, and an education for me as well.
And in this specific case, can you tell us how the film was built after his journey to Albania?
Well, it really started in Albania when Mark visits these places. He sits down, he'll walk off on his own, he'll sit down, he'll set his camera up, and he'll sit there and he'll look at the same scene that the camera is recording, and while he sits there he'll have a think, and then he'll start to write, and I'm sure you agree after seeing it, there's very much a stream of consciousness. It's his thoughts as he's inspired by what he's looking at, and so he'll write the majority of the film as he's sat in these places. He'll just write his thoughts, and then he comes back to Edinburgh or the UK, and he pieces those together. So there's very little work for us to do. Everything's already there, and he strings it together visually in the editing suite, and then once the visual shots are aligned, then he will edit his script and record it, and then we're good to go almost. Well, then my job starts a lot with clearing rights for all of the archive footage, which is a tough job with Mark, because he uses a lot of obscure archive footage. But I think the type of film that Mark makes can make that job easy. I'm not trying to get clips of beautiful old films to promote Coca-Cola or anything like that. We're using those films in a way that the copyright holders enjoy very much and proud to be a part of. So, having said I've got to get all the rights, so it's actually quite an easy job because of the quality of Mark's work. I think it's important to say with Mark, the way he works is so easy. You don't need to worry about hiring big equipment or large crews or spending much time doing things. It's simple, cheap technology, and obviously he spent years, his whole life, building up this knowledge from which he can draw. But the actual process of making the films is incredibly quick. We finished Here Be Dragons last year. We've just finished at Highbrow, the company I work for. We've just finished a second film with Mark. But in between those two films, he's made 3 other films with other people. So Mark makes about 4 or 5 films a year, which is incredible. And I think at Highbrow we really encourage the use of new technologies because it enables everyone to go out and have a go at making films. So you no longer have to raise a lot of money to make these. We made this film for about £7,000, and it's the camera. I said it was so cheap. It opens up filmmaking to almost everyone. I think the possibility of doing that, or the option of doing that, and then with Highbrow, we the majority of our work is not produced for theatrical screenings. The majority of our work is produced with the intention of uploading it to our website, highbrow.tv, which is freely available all over the world. And we believe films like this can be made easily, cheaply, and they should be available for everyone to enjoy and to think about.
I'm just curious if your content is free on your channel. How do you raise money for these projects?
We create films on the arts, whether they be documentaries or performance films or short vignettes of artists in their studios or poets reading their poetry. This is slightly different. It's more cultural than the arts. But we believe that the arts have, for many years, been only there to be enjoyed by people with a lot of money or in the right place at the right time. If you live in the countryside, or you're old, or you're ill, or you're young, you might not be able to go to the main cities and enjoy operas and ballets and theatres. It becomes so expensive, but we believe that should be free to all to enjoy. And we believe Highbrow is a commercial company. We're a young company, so we're hoping to make profits. We're not yet, but that's our intention, and we believe the arts can be supported by big business, by getting the right brands on board to support the company as a whole, so that they don't, so that the artists we work with don't have to deal with that side of things. So we raise the funds from other places, and we give those funds directly to the artists, as well as providing a platform to exhibit those works. And in the 2 years that our website's been live, we've reached 150 countries, and yeah, that continues to grow. Yeah, it's tough. It's changing the way brands think, but the internet has shaken the industry up, and the internet is kind of the Wild West at the moment. No one quite knows for sure how to make money, how to make sustainable revenues through this. But we're exploring a lot of different options. For example, in-flight entertainment on aeroplanes. I think if you're catching the British Airways flight from London to Tirana, instead of watching the usual Hollywood films you might watch on a British Airways flight, imagine seeing Here Be Dragons on the flight to Tirana. And they're beginning to realise, actually, yes, this is quite cool. I flew to the States recently, and I saw in the in-flight entertainment options there are a whole load of TED Talks. I thought, oh, great, I don't have to watch Tom Cruise. So we're still exploring different options. Obviously, there's we're exploring content sharing relationships with broadcasters such as in the United Kingdom, the BBC, and they buy content off us to show on television before we put it online, and so that they'll have the rights to that for a short period of time. If we're making films such as this for £7,000, then we quite quickly get our money back, and then we believe it should be online, freely available to everyone. So it's early days of the business model, but we believe it'll work. So far, we've produced on the website. There's about 200 hours worth of content that we've produced.
Thanks a lot. And
I'd like just quickly to thank you, Alessandro, and Dina, and everyone, all of the volunteers who have been looking after us. This festival has had an amazing spirit. We've been having lunch together, delicious lunches together every day, and we've been driven around and been made to feel so comfortable and welcome. And you, the audiences, have been so engaging. It's been such a joy to be here. So thank you.
Our pleasure.
And thank you.